Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to showcase my last ever battles this season. I will be showcasing Mega Scissor in a Show 6 format in the Battle Frontier. In the Battle Frontier, Master League works with a point system, and Mega Scissor is one of, if not the most expensive Pokemon to pick there. So picking Mega Scissor really restricts you in making your whole team. And I'm going to show you exactly why that is. Not just me, but Tip Thunder also sent in some battles of his Mega Scissor. Both matchups or both battles will really show a different side of how good Scissor can be as a safe Pokemon and as a dominant Pokemon. Let's take a look at my matchup first. So this is my matchup. My opponent is Gary Puckin Oak. I believe we played in a Show 6 tournament before for Master League. I won 3-0 back then, which honestly doesn't give me a lot of confidence. It only makes me feel like he would really want revenge here. So I'm pretty terrified of him here. And he may have watched my videos because he's countering the Nihilego very hard. He took the Aggron Kyogre core, which is a pretty common core, like maybe not intentionally countering the Nihilego. But unfortunately, that core is very strong as mine because my Scissor and Zekrom aren't exactly strong against his team. In fact, the Aggron can beat about anything on my line except the Rhyperior. And to beat the Rhyperior, he has Kyogre, Gyarados, and Virizion. Virizion is a pick I also really wanted to bring, but I changed it to Primarina last second. And I really regret that because, man, if I had Virizion versus Aggron Kyogre core, would have been terrific. I will be running Bullet Punch, Night Slash, which is mandatory to fight back against Aggron, and I have Trailblaze to fight back against Kyogre. That actually allows me to win against Kyogre. On Zekrom, I have Outrage and Fusion Bolt. Outrage helps against the Virizion as just a nice attack to have there, because otherwise Virizion is a little bit too strong as well. I have Mud Slap, obviously, for the Rhyperior, or for the Aggron on my Rhyperior, and then any other notable things. I was never going to run Gyarados and Mamoswine in this matchup, but I do have Charm on Primarina with Disarming Voice and Hydro Pump, pretty standard moveset. Let's take a look at how I'm going to tackle this matchup. It's a difficult one. So, going into this matchup, I had two game plans. One of them was to lead Rhyperior. He would never see that coming, and Aggron is so easy for him to lead, because it basically wins about 5 out of 6 leads here. And Rhyperior is very tough to use against Kyogre, Gyarados, and Virizion that are all pretty good for him. The other plan was to run the complete opposite, to play ABA against Aggron. Leading Zekrom with Primarina in the back means that I have to stay in with Zekrom into the Aggron and then weaken it, because I think my Primarina would be very good against a Mega Aggron lead. I mean, it will be good against the backline because it's likely paired with like Gyarados, Kyogre, or Virizion, and that is where Primarina is very good. So basically, if I play that line, Zekrom has to clear the way for Primarina. Let's take a look at how this battle goes. I lead my Zekrom into Mega Aggron. This is my safer approach. Really wish I let that Rhyperior now, but it is what it is. Yeah, he is running Smackdown, which surprised me. I would have stayed in against Dragon Tail as well. I just want to get 2 Fusion Bolts. The one shields are pretty close. As you can see, Fusion Bolt, very strong charge stack, so will do a lot of damage. I do lose the even shields here, though, because if he throws Meteor Beam, I might barely hang on, but the next Smackdown would definitely take me out. It's a very strong charge stack, and Smackdowns will let up as he is boosting his attack. Yeah. Another Fusion Bolt coming in. If he no-shields this, it actually win the 0 shields, and only a close HP, though. At this point, if it's Gyarados, I probably swap out into the Scissor, but it's Kyogre that's coming in, and at this point, I probably should have thrown already with Sky. And now I'm like, wait, he has no Aggronons in the back. I'm just going to swap out. Like, my Scissor isn't weak to anything. I'm just going to go into my Primarina. If it's Gyarados, he's basically locked in. He kind of has to stay into this. I expect Blizzard on his Kyogre as well, but just in case it's the Origin Pulse or Thunder, we will shoot this up. And it actually is Thunder, which I find wild. That makes him even weaker to my Zekrom, but honestly, Zekrom versus Kyogre is already so good for Zekrom either way. He swaps into Virizion, which does win the 0 shields against Primarina, but at this point it doesn't really matter. I just need to get chip damage. Problem is that my Scissor doesn't have charge stacks to hit this, as I have Night Slash, Trailblaze, both resisted on the Virizion. And luckily this Lead Blade doesn't knock me out yet. He can't farm me down, and I would, so he has to throw here, and that's perfectly fine, because now I can get some energy on the Scissor, and then I have Trailblaze, a Grass type attack, and that will knock out the Kyogre. So, plan successfully executed. I got all the alignment that I wanted, even though it was a very rough lead in theory. Trailblaze will knock out this Kyogre, and that means I am 1-0 up. Good game. Game number 2, I am just going with the same team, actually. I don't think he would expect it, so... and I felt like the team was very safe. It had a good plan behind it. The team composition is very rough for me, but with Zekrom in the lead, even if I face Aggron, it'd be fine. So my strategy at first was, I'm just going to play the Zero Shoots here, set up Scizor for shield advantage, but I make a mistake here. I swap my Scizor right away, and he answers with the Aggron. This is actually not bad, right? Because I don't want my Primarina on this. The problem is, though, I need to get this low. And if I get this low, I can get rid of it easy. But I have a bad feeling about this. I don't think it is that I need it to be Kyogre in the back. I don't think it is, though. I really want my Primarina on that Gyarados. But I'm a little bit... This feels off. It feels really off. Gonna go for another Ice Slash here. In my scrims, I didn't boost even once. Luckily, finally, I do boost here. Gonna farm up a little bit more energy, so I have some more to come out against the Gyarados. And yeah, this feels very iffy. Why is he letting that go? He must have something else against the Zekrom here. I did kind of realize at this point, but I didn't want to swap out anymore, especially when boosted. The play that I should have done here was after this Nice Slice. I probably should have just swapped into my Primarina, because in the back is actually a problem, something I expected. My opponent counting very well realized I would get to another Night Slash here. And let's see what he brings in. Brings in the Florges, so that's why he wasn't worried about the Zekrom at all. But I can get a lot of charm damage into this. I might just barely be okay here. However, again, Primarina is very fragile. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 Disarming Voice will almost knock me out. I'm going to shield it up. It's only a bait, unfortunately. I'm not sure if it matters. He's now dry of his energy. This could be a Moonblast. It is a Moonblast now. It's not a Disarming Voice. I should be able to get 3 charms in, but I get debuffed. And this is actually I think it was my only lose condition there. I would have gotten 3 non-debuff charms in, and I think with a lot of Dragon Breaths. Well, honestly though, looking at this, if he gets the Moonblast off on the Zekrom, I would lose regardless. But look at this, very unfortunate. He also debuffed my Zekrom, by the way. Actually crazy. 10% chance he gets it on both. Yeah, that is rough. I don't know if I would have won it without the debuff. I feel like it would have been much closer though. So yeah, that is what it is. Guess what I'm going to run. I need to win this battle, otherwise we have lost the bout. Zekrom into Mega Aggron. Is this fine? No, it's not. I brought the Rhyperior this time, but the target is in the lead, so this is kind of rough. Luckily, my opponent does something that puts me in a little bit of a better position. This is what I have Outrage for. It's the Virizion, and I think that my opponent knows that I like Outrage, so he does shield it up correctly. It would have done a lot of damage. Virizion lacks a lot of stats, but it does so well because of that quick energy generation and charge attack pressure. Sacred Sword and Leaf Blade are very strong attacks. So yeah, go to shield this up. I want to get shields down. The idea is that if I get shields down, perhaps Aggron could Rhyperior could maybe like rock record a potential Gyarados in the back. So that was my idea at this point. But he lets it go. So I took out the Virizion. The Aggron has a lot of energy though, and in the back is the Florges. He wanted to get the Florges on the Zekrom again, but I didn't let that happen this time. I just stayed in. Gonna go for another Fusion Bolt, which will do about 50% of the health of that Florges, a lot of damage. And now it's just a matter of alignment. I kind of want to swap into the Rhyperior, but why? Why would I do such a thing? I just align my Scizor in the best place it could be. And then I have another great answer for that Aggron. I don't even throw a fast attack. I already expect him to swap out. I screenshot that because I'm happy to have my Aggron, my Rhyperior on the Aggron. Such a risky play. As you can see, I run Superpower just to make this matchup a little bit better if I ever needed it to, but it doesn't matter at this point. Mud Slaps add up so much. I get so much energy here as well. He has Smackdown, so because he doesn't have Dragon Tail, he doesn't have any fast attack pressure, and I'll just go for double Rock Record. Gary Puckenoak knows that it's over at this point, so I'm happy with the 2-1 win here, but man, I really wanted a 3-0. I shouldn't complain though, like with the team comp I have here, I think a 2-1 is very fine. So this is the matchup of Triptando versus Chorizo, also running the Scizor Zekrom core, and it's doing so well here because Chorizo is running double Psychic, and the 2 dragons he has aren't super strong against Scizor either. It's not like Reshiram or Zekrom. Those 2 dragons are okay against Scizor, but Dragonite has to land a Hurricane, which takes like 20 million years to get to, or Superpower, which debuffs you and doesn't do as much damage as you want it to, and Gyarados just lacks stats. On top of that, the Mamoswine also almost only has resisted damage on the Scizor, and takes super effective from the steel attacks, and Metagross just a little bit too slow there as well. So this is where Scizor is really good. He's going to run Fury Cutter as the fast attack. This charges even quicker. He has Night Slash for the Slowbro and the Mewtwo, and Iron Head to deal neutral damage and super effective, which could be helpful against Dragonite and Mamoswine. On top of that, he also has the wrong moveset on Zekrom. I think you should run Outrage. He runs Crunch, though. Crunch may be a little bit more helpful against Mewtwo, but not exactly necessary. Now, let's take a look at these battles. So for Triptundo, basically what he needs to do is have his Scizor not on the Dragonite or the Gyarados. Those are some of his worst matchups, even though they're still not like bad. There's like no fire, and like fire is the only thing that really counters Scizor and Pokemon that are, you know, resisting steel or bug, dark attacks and stuff. Let's take a look at how he places out. I fully expect something like Double Dragon from Chorizo with Mewtwo. Here we go. We have a decent lead for Triptundo, but decide to swap into the Mewtwo immediately. This is what I did as well in practice against Triptundo, because Mewtwo with energy is just so difficult to answer with Triptundo. Even if you have that Mega Scizor, which is running Fury Cut and Night Slash, it does very well against Mewtwo, but it just gets annoying because it can bait that Flamethrower, and it likely is running the Flamethrower. Going for the Night Slash immediately, it paces extremely quickly. At this point, it might... Yeah, oh, it barely does knock out, actually. Yeah, if you want to preserve the Scizor, you gotta shield this. And this does more damage than anything else, really. It is Flamethrower on Mewtwo, no surprise. But looking at Chorizo's team, he has nothing that does solid damage. Yeah, maybe you have Hurricane. Maybe you have Hurricane here, but it takes 20 years to charge that freaking charge stack, so... Iron Head, same type attack bonus on it, but it's a relatively weak charge stack. Luckily, Scizor has high attack to back it up. It is superpower. Look at how little damage that does, dude. Like, Scizor is just a little bit strong. Getting charge attack priority, very meticulous. I think this might not knock out. It actually does because of the debuff as well. And in the back is Mamoswine. This is not a Pokemon I use at all in practice against Triptundo, because there is the Scizor, there is Gyarados, which is okay in the 2 shields, but not a great matchup. Verizon is weird. Avalok is so-so. I guess maybe it has some play. I would always be afraid of that. Scizor, though. In comes a Crunch. Triptundo not running the good moveset here. You need if you are Scizor, if you are Zekrom, you're an Outrage. This is the rule, but it's good enough for him to win this battle. Game 2 goes. He leads Mega Scizor, very safe lead into the Mewtwo. This is exactly where you want this. It looks like Chorizo doesn't know what to do with this exactly. But maybe taking a Night Slash first. It's not a strong charge stack. It's super effective on Mewtwo, but you can take it. So I guess you just go for the Zero Shoots here as Chorizo. And then you swap out. I don't know, man. The problem is Triptundo is always going to shield his Scizor simply because this is the only thing that hits hard on it. All the other Pokemon that Chorizo has just don't hit hard at all on Scizor. Catching... Was that a Flamethrower catch? Bro, that's kind of brutal. Now you don't have to expand the shield, swapping into the Dragonite, which is even a great matchup for Dragonite. Dragon Claw wouldn't even KO yet there, so obviously Chorizo recognized that, doesn't throw his Dragon Claw just yet. But man, you take a lot of damage from these Dragon Breaths here. Can you even... Oh, doesn't try to farm down here. I think Triptundo may almost have gone to an Aqua Tail here. Problem now is... Scizor might just farm you down. And this also clears up the Zekrom. It's likely the Mamoswine in the back though, and in that case Zekrom is not entirely free. Going to take the Dragon Claw here, I guess? Yeah, taking the Dragon Claw here. Probably realizing, if it is Mamoswine, I need my Scizor for it. It is Gyarados though, and that's not the worst per se. You just got Dragon Breath damage in. That's a really good catch from Chorizo. Going for the Crunch here, as Triptundo is he tried to debuff, but it doesn't really matter. Like, with this amount of chip damage, I think 2 Night Slash will knock out the Gyarados. Gyarados is quite fragile as well. Yeah, with the Fury Cutters, I think that might be enough. You'll see Triptundo no shielding this because the first Crunch could debuff and then lower your defense. It is an Aqua Tail only though, but Chorizo needs so many. He needs like 3 more of those. It's just not gonna be enough. Yeah, using a shield there. You know, he boosted the whole time against me, and he doesn't boost a single time here. What is going on? Shielding the next Aqua Tail. Next Aqua Tail or Crunch won't even knock out. Doesn't matter. Nice is coming in. Fury Cutter Scizor is so quick, and that will seal the deal. That's a 2-0 score number right 3. Now. How do you adapt that Chorizo? Gyarados into Mamoswine. Mamoswine wins the 2 shoots here because you barely outpace to the last Avalanche. All the other events, I believe Gyarados wins them, however. Aqua Tail super effective, but not the strongest attack. Actually gets debuff though soonish. And let's go. I mean, I guess I can understand, simply because you know there's going to be Scissor in the back. So how useful is Mamoswine going to be? So hard swapping into the Dragonite and going for the crunch there, trusting Gyarados to get there. So we'll do solid damage, and actually is shielded, that's big. I think at this point, you know, there's no more Mamoswine. Oh, he does bring in the, interesting, he does bring in the Zekrom here. Dragon Claw won't knock out, but it will get very close to knocking out with Dragon Breaths. Does shield it up, makes sense. This is scary though. I don't like this play. Because if there's a Mewtwo in the back, you can lose this. You can lose this. I think that is why he brought the Zekrom into the Dragonite in the first place, but it could very much bait you, so that's kind of rough. You have to be careful of a potential catch of that Mewtwo. That might be the win condition of Chorizo here. It's one win condition. At this point, the score is, I believe, 10-10 in this round. So if Chorizo managed to catch here, he wins. If not, Triptando should probably be okay here. But I feel like this Mewtwo can just get two attacks here. No, am I wrong? The 2 flamethrower? Let's go, okay. Makes sense. That makes perfect sense. What am I worried about, dude? He just flamethrowers there, then keeps the Zekrom alive. Mamoswine has no energy, and Zekrom just cleans up. Yeah, Zekrom was pretty healthy enough there. Didn't really need to rely on the Scissor there at all. Just getting enough chip damage here was enough. So, yeah, well played. Well played. That's a 3-0 win there. So, that was the video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video or season. Bye.